Hello, everybody, and thank you for coming to see us in this kind of special way on this lunch webinar that we are doing on trends in the market of business law with the Swedish results from the Regi report in 2021 as a base. You will have the possibility to ask questions in the chat if you would like to, and I will be notified when or if so happens. Also, we will record this presentation, and there will be a possibility to take part of the information afterwards if you would like to. And then you can either say that in the chat or make contact with us, and contact information will be on the last slide of today. So my name is Ylva Gnosse, and I work as an expert consultant when it comes to the market of business law at Regi, and I've been doing this since 2008. I've also worked in law firms as a marketing and business development manager previously. So I'm going to take you through this presentation today, and we will start looking at these different topics. So let's see, I hope that this works for you and that you all see this. We will start on an outlook of 2021, a short review of macroeconomic factors influencing the market of business law. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the excellence in client law firm relations, the driving forces enhancing client relations according to the report. Something about the future, evidently, that the views on transactions, ESG-related law, insolvency, and other matters regarding the future. And a little bit about the industry report we are doing this autumn in 2021. So let's go. Firstly, an outlook 2021 to 2022, and the most recent outlook I found is from the Swedish bank SEB that released their Nordic Outlook for May the 4th. So there will be a focus on inflation risks as COVID-19 recedes, and evidently new virus outbreaks and tighter restrictions have resulted in a weak start of this year that we can see over all the Nordic and Baltic economies. But the recovery will regain momentum later in 2021. In Sweden, we will have a more stronger rebound in the second half of 2021, and the prediction is a GDP increase of 4.5%. And there has been discussions regarding the rates, if they will increase, but there will be no rate hike as it looks for now, despite low inflation. So the GDP growth forecast is upward to 4.0% in 2022. And the high household savings and fiscal stimulus are laying the groundwork for a strong recovery. When it comes to Finland, and I guess that you know more about the Finnish outlook for 2021, it could be interesting to see what the Swedish bank says about Finland. And Finland has performed well through the pandemic, both in terms of healthcare and economic policy, that we know. And the Finnish economy will grow in 2021, up 3.0% is the prediction. And in 2022, the growth will slow to 5% if increased capital spending and if the productivity increases slightly more than it is today. Yeah, so what are the drivers, the key drivers behind the economy and its development? Of course, we're talking about the vaccine. It leads to a normalization of societies this year that we are hoping, at least. And the households haven't been out traveling or spending any money. So a strong household purchasing power will also drive the economy forward. And an increased capital spending and productivity is also key driving forces when it comes to businesses. And that we will also see when we go and have a look at the M&A forecasts. There will be a continued resilience to the pandemic in global trade and manufacturing, which is good. So a wise use of governmental stimulus measures, balancing risks of overheating and inflation, will be a key driver, that the governments are not too quick in taking away all the support that they have given companies so far. So on the market of business law, according to Morgan Stanley and ABG Sundal Collier, we can turn to the M&A in the Nordics, where we already see an increased activity of K1 to be continued due to less volatility in the market valuations. And the key drivers, and this goes for M&A when it comes to both the EU and the US, evidently linked. Supporting markets with low capital costs, of course, is a key driver. And companies increasing scale and acquiring technology. Digitalization continues to do good to the economy. And recovery in cross-border M&A is also a key driver to why activity will continue to increase. And abundant capital from private equity and SPAC companies are there to sustain this positive development. And there will be rebound in sectors that were impacted by COVID-19. And I think that's particularly interesting for the market of business law. And therefore, we shall have a look at the Morgan Stanley graph here, who provides us with information when it comes to M&A activity that was strong in least COVID impacted sectors, and the announcement activity, the more impacted sectors that has performed less, where we also can expect a higher M&A activity. So what we could see is that the tech, of course, healthcare and financial services, a little bit of consumers, had a strong M&A activity so far. But what we can expect in 2021 and 2022 is a recovery in M&A activity in underperforming sectors such as industrials, energies and utilities, communication, and real estate also, and basic materials. So I think this is interesting to look at the gap here to see where the business opportunities will be in the future. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that we could expose when it comes to trends in on the business market, the business legal market, and I think that we have tried to pinpoint here a few of them. So, of course, the tech sector will continue to grow, and we're talking about fintech and medtech, of course, but we also put in all tech here because all technical sectors are actually increasing in activities, and we think that this is a future sector for 2022 also. Digital, artificial intelligence, IT law, and also cybersecurity is increasing even more and will be even more important sectors to focus on. This is especially interesting in all of this, of course, when it comes to fintech. Yeah. So we have a sector that is pretty small, but very interesting. And this is new media and content, where we can see the YouTubers, the influencers. It's actually a growing sector, very special. But I think it will be interesting to follow and see what kind of impact this will will have on business markets upcoming. In Sweden, we see quite a few litigations and very much a contract law when it comes to influencers and YouTubers. The new media landscape. So in this, we also have something called SaaS firms, software asset services, also growing sector due to the digital transformation. Energy. We could talk a lot about energy, and energy is of course in focus because of the environmental cause, and there will be a lot of need for help when it comes to business law in new sun, wind, water, and new. And here we talk about fusion energy as of the ITER research plant that is now built in southern France. I think that we will see new solutions on energy upcoming, very interesting. And then we have the old energy, of course, need for business law also there, and business to business and business to consumer when it comes to energy, trade, transportation, and so on. ESG law, environmental, social, governance, is the new buzzword, we could say, due to the disclosure regulations and the new taxonomy coming to regulate the capital and be key drivers in order to make greener investments in the future. We're going to talk more about that later on. So EU regulations, it is evidently also something that is upcoming, and there will be more and more regulations to come, more and more compliance to work with. And corona-related law, that will also continue, is our prediction for some time when it comes to litigations, contract law, labor law, and maybe insolvency issues, as the governments will sort of support companies less in the future. Let's see. Brexit will continue influencing business law, the future of business law, and real estate is a huge area in Sweden at least, and will continue to be. And we will have the from retail to e-tail continue to influence fast-moving consumer goods and slow-moving consumer goods in the future. So this was a brief overview on what's trending in the market for now, and I'm sure I forgot something, but I think that this covers a lot too. So yeah, please get in touch with me if you have any other areas that you think we should include in our future outlook here. So now we shall move to the results in our studies and see what are the driving forces when it comes to excellence in client law firm relations. So first, some information on the industry study in Sweden. We conducted it for 13 years in a row now, and we do it from September to November each year. And the idea is that we are now going to do this in Finland at the same time, so that we get to compare the two markets and also get to do some statistics from, for example, bigger clients from both markets and see similarities and differences, and revealing the keys of how to perform excellent client. So nearly 1,000 evaluated client relations the past autumn, and the distribution between CEOs, lawyers, and other management positions is about 1/3 each. So that's how the market of business law, the buyers of business law, looks like on the Swedish market. About 60% are under 50 years old, and 40% are over 50 years old. And a total of 26 agencies, law firms, qualified for the reference group in Sweden, which means that they are possible to elect for benchmark, for instance. So we are hoping that we will have quite a few agencies participating on the Finnish market as well. So more information will be available on our website and also in direct contact with Carola and Robin on the Finnish market. Yeah. When we look at client satisfaction index, which is the core of our business, we can see that it's pretty even from one year to another, even in pandemic times. We shall have a look at the biggest differences, and that is, well, as we saw, the total average has increased actually a little bit to 8.45 on average on a scale from 1 to 10, which is high, which means also that the clients in general are pretty satisfied with their contact with the law firms. So availability will get the highest rating, and it seems like the online work during the pandemic autumn has not influenced the availability when it comes to the relations between the clients and the law firms. Digitalization gets the lowest rating, and project management has increased the most. So understanding of clients' business has decreased the most, and we can kind of understand that because there has been less opportunity to visit the clients, the factories, the firms during pandemic. When you're sitting online, it's not that easy to grasp the understanding of the client's business. So out of these 13 criteria, what is the most important to improve? Well, actually, price worthiness has scored the highest grade. It is about 1/4 of the clients who says that this is the most important to improve. And we know that in Sweden, for instance, the lawyers are the highly priced expert consultants on the markets. So yeah, it's the price issue that has strengthened its position, and I think it's also kind of a consequence when you don't see people in person, when you work online, and maybe also the pricing dialogue between the responsible lawyer and the client has kind of not been the same during the pandemics. And it's extra important in these digital meeting times. So it may seem basic, but one key to having good relations with the clients is to actually make it simple, a pre-meeting before sending the invoice, and talk about what you have done so far and what kind of achievements you've actually got through the collaboration before sending the invoice. Yeah, digitalization is also important, and here we talk about the digitalization when it comes to using digital portals, for instance, like applications and stuff like that, collecting all the information between the client and the law firm at the same place. And digitalization is vast and wide, has a vast and wide content, and we have actually asked the clients a little bit more what they mean about it and what they want. And apart from the portals and the applications, they would also like to have access to simpler databases in order to find contracts and so on to work with. Working with AI and contracts reading and proofreading through AI is something that some clients, especially the lawyers, would like to see, but not all clients actually care for that. And then proactivity, also something very important to keep in mind, to be proactive and suggest how to proceed when a case is finished is really, really important. Yeah, so I think we should stop there and I will move on to the next picture. We see in our reports year after year that the lawyers and the law firms actually are not that good in following up and doing client care between the cases. The cases are opened and you have a very close and very good client relation during the case. But when the case is closed, it's important to follow up and talk to the client and see what did you do well, how can you do better, and foremost, how should the collaboration be in the future? What kind of laws are upcoming where the clients need to be compliant, where you can continue helping the clients in the future? So it's actually also a momentum of sales. If we run some statistics on this, we can see that the degree of perceived partnership in follow-ups are 8.5 in the client satisfaction index, whereas no follow-ups will give a grade of 7, which is really, really significantly lower. So if you would like to have happy clients, you need to talk to them and to entertain the relationship with them also when cases are closed. Yeah. Client's age. Now we shall go through some other statistics that we can see, relations that matters. And there is a difference between the younger clients and the older clients. So clients 40 to 50 years, they give the lowest grades. Many general lawyers are in this age group and they have extra high demands, that we know. And the young people, they want more digitalization. Buyers under the age of 40 more often want improvements in their agency's digitalization than those of over 50. And the rating decreases the younger the client is. Yeah. Older clients, they are more loyal to the law firm, and those under the age of 40 would leave their office of the lawyer or the law firm if the lawyer left, especially compared to those over the age of 50. And price worthiness is most important for everyone. Actually, this is something that is regardless of age. Value for money is highly placed as an area for improvement. Yeah. Now we shall look at some statistics when it comes to the larger buyers. They have greater requirements that we know. Buyers over 1 million per year assess, and now we're talking about Swedish crowns, SEK. They assess their lawyers a little bit harder. They're a little bit more judgmental, especially buyers who spend at least 5 million per year on business law. They give lower ratings in general in client satisfaction index. Price value is more important for agencies, for the agency's largest clients. Significantly more, 5 million clients want to see improved value for money. And we also know that in bigger corporations, you have a team overviewing the prices of the consultants regularly. So this is kind of a natural development. And the market's largest buyers are not being followed up more than those with lower purchases. And this is kind of surprising, we think. So if we look at the buyers that buys for more than 1 million per year, it's 39% of these that they are followed up, while 49% of are actually followed up. So the bigger the clients, the less client care you could actually say a little bit, if you be a little bit bold when it comes to the statistics. Now, how does the COVID-19 crisis affect the cooperation with the law firm? The question of 2020 autumn. Well, 82%, and these are really, really good figures, says no or minimal impact. So there has been very well functioning collaborations in times of pandemic, and this is truly an excellent result. So yeah, I think this is very good when it comes to pandemic relations. A bit surprising, but excellent. Yeah. So to what extent do you want to use digital meetings in the long run to interact with your law firms? And now we have merged always or usually digitally. So 56% of the respondents says that in starting up a new case, always or usually, I can do this digitally. And when it comes to reconciliations of current cases, it's 88% who says that we can do this online. After that, follow-ups of the collaboration and discussing future plans, a little bit over half of the clients says that we can do this digitally. And education and seminars, it's 56% who says this is fine doing online. So it seems like working online has come here to stay, but we can also see, if we read between the lines in the statistics, that there are quite a few clients who would love to meet physically also when this pandemic is over. So maybe some of the more conservative clients, actually more over the older ones, would like to meet physically when it's possible, whereas young people tend to think that digitalization is here to stay and I'm happy to work online. Yeah. Now we shall look at the questions regarding the future when it comes to transactions, insolvency, and the ESG. So, what do you think about the development of transactions in the Swedish market over the next 6 months? And here we can see that if we put together 40% plus 9%, it's about half of the clients who says increase a lot or increase slightly. And in all, 45% of the general counsels believe that the transactions will increase slightly, and there's no general counsel who chooses the option increase a lot. So when it comes to general counsels, I think that the overlook is positive. Unaltered is another big group, and there are a few people, 13% says decreases slightly. So the development of the insolvency situation in the Swedish market. Here we have 42% who said increase a lot and 55% who says increase slightly. So the outlook when it comes to insolvency were a lot, how can I say, darker this autumn than when it came to transactions, which is of course good for the business law firms working with these type of matters. But in Sweden, we have not seen the increase in insolvency matters that was predicted in this way actually so far. Insolvency matters has not been that many as the predictions. So this will be interesting to see when the governments will alter their help to the firms if insolvency will increase in the future. Are you involved in the company's activities on sustainability? Yes, says 51% of the buyers of business law. Are involved in the company's sustainability work. And among head of legals, it's 46%, and in-house lawyers, it's only 23%. Yeah, so how do you predict the purchases in the area of sustainability in the near future? And also here we can see increase, there's an overall positive outlook when it comes to buying ESG related legal, increase a lot, 12% plus slightly 35%. And we see also that sustainability is the area in which most IR managers, if you look at our investor relations studies, want to increase their competence. And now with the new legislation and regulation from EU when it comes to the disclosure regulation and the new taxonomy, we believe that more and more firms will need help within this area. How can a law firm best support your sustainability work? Well, actually, when it comes to laws, regulation, and to be compliant, provide advice and guidance, says some. No need, it's not their mission. There are 11% who says that. And own sustainability work at the agency, which means that law firms need to have an ESG policy as well. Digitalize internally and externally, and working with contract law, and proactively inform about future changes that may influence your clients is, of course, important. What challenges and needs in business law do you think your company faces in 6 to 12 months' time? And here we can see that the insecurity in the market means that most people will answer, well, nothing special, I don't know, same as today, probably, which is 16% of the respondents. So these are open commentary, which means that we have coded open comments from the clients. So M&As was great in 2019, and in 2020, it's still 15% who says, we think that we're going to work with M&As. Contract law has increased a lot due to pandemics, we can see. And GDPR, increased regulation, new laws, compliance is still high on the 4th place, but not as high as last year, where GDPR in 2019 was a greater issue. Business law in general, and property law, digitalization, labor law, and here we have some new upcoming areas that has not been on the top list before, which is labor law, environmental sustainability, reconstruction insolvency, and COVID-19 related cases. So, in summary, the industry has managed COVID-19 crisis well, but continues to be affected, evidently. And some services will still be in demand more than before due to the pandemic. Sustainability is the future. Legal services within the ESG will become increasingly important. Transactions are expected to increase, and M&A will be at the top of buyers' legal challenges. And when the pandemic's impact decreases, this will be an excellent opportunity to discuss the future. How do clients want to collaborate in the future now, and what are their main priority areas? So, I think that we shall now move to talking a little bit about the launch on the Finnish market. This is something that we think is really interesting and exciting for us at Regi. We have been working on the Nordic markets with investor relations since 1997. So we are really familiar with other Nordic firms and how other Nordic markets can work. But of course, business law is different. Regarding the communication industry, we have of years, and we are now looking forward to work with you in Finland when it comes to the business law market. So the questions that we will now run in the industry report for this autumn is legal business post-COVID or mid-COVID, we don't know, but what's happening in the pandemic will evidently influence the way that collaborations will be performed between the clients and the law firms. Will there still be client care online? How will the digitalization influence the relations? These are queries that we will hopefully answer when we compile these reports at the end of this year. And the future in business law, the outlook for 2022, we will continue to ask what they think will be the most important when it comes to purchases within business law. Sustainability, the ESG legal matters will be to be continued, and we are passionate for this particular area, and there will be very interesting to see how capitals will move to greener investments due to these new regulations. And our prediction is that this is not something that will stay only in banking and finance as it is now. We think that this will transform into other firms because of investors and the investors' demands on greener investments. Yeah, so this will be very interesting. Litigation and alternative dispute resolution, we will have a special focus on this because there will be more litigations coming as a consequence also of the pandemic, evidently. But when it comes to the biggest areas where the clients buy business law, the first one is general business law, but the second one is M&As, and the third one is on litigation. So we haven't done any focus on litigations previously in our reports, but this year we will do this, and we look forward to reveal the results there. International and global services is another area that we are truly interested in as economies goes more global again, and also because of the online way of working and meet enhances global businesses, makes them a little bit more easier and faster. We think that this is an area that could be interesting to cover for this autumn as well. Yeah. So how do we do this? Some of you listening today has probably been through this with Robin and Carola, but this will be a little bit of repetition. Yeah. So the respondents are big business law purchases, of course. And how do we do the selection? Well, it comes from both the law firm client lists, and we will do our own register that we have also for the Swedish market. We are listing the 500 top buyers of business law every year so that we can get a good setup of participating firms. So the categories, we will announce this when we see how we can do this together, and how probably we will work from categories when it comes to the size of the buyers, so that we will have a category for the greater buyers and a category for the buyers that are below, for instance, 1 million SEK per year, but this time it will be in euro, of course. But we will get back on that. And the number of interviews in Sweden was 1,000, and we hope that we will get a fair number of interviews on the Finnish market. That will be very good and interesting when it comes to analyzing the statistics as well. So the method is the online survey and telephone interviews, and we will have recurrent annual questions and thematic current questions as the ones that I just went through with you. Yeah, so prior to the study, we will have the client list delivery by the latest of June 24th, midsummer. And the minimum purchase will be 20,000 euro during the last 12 months. And the results will be segmented by size of client purchases, as we just said. And the annual study is covered by the GDPR. So we will get back with you on good contracts when it comes to GDPR, as we do on the Swedish market. We have a law firm for that. This is the timeline. So now it is a collection of the client lists and working on the questions. The study will start at the end of August and go to November. And in January, we will have an event and the nomination and award giving of Law Firm of the Year. And in January, we will also do the presentations, your personal presentations of the reports. And we have done it all digital this year. And we will see in 2022 if we can meet. We will hope that will be possible. Otherwise, we'll do it online. And at the law firm, during the spring, you will have the possibility to work with these key figures in order to improve client relations. And hopefully our reports can offer a greater understanding of client-related issues. Yeah. So we have 3 reports that we can do from the one study, and that is your personal client study, measuring the pulse of your relationship. And then we have the general report, the industry report, from where I've taken the information that I conveyed to you in today's presentation. So there will be insights and trends of the law industry. And then we do this image watch, which means it's the brand image of the law firm, the non-clients of the law firm today that give their view on the brand of the law firms that they do not work with currently. Very interesting information. Here we also do listings within different areas, and we will do listings in M&A and of course within the area of litigation as well. So this is a big picture. It's the key performance indicators that we can extract from the information that we collect in our reports. So the idea of the reports, it's of course that we can help you with your business development, writing your business plan and so on, and using the report as a measurement of your performance. So client satisfaction index, the average of the 13 criteria. We will do net promoter score, the likelihood to recommend, and likelihood to switch if the clients are thinking of moving to another firm or expanding the number of firms that they are working with. Client knowledge, industry knowledge, understanding of client's business is a key indicator. And the sales potential, share of clients willing to expand the cooperation, which means that we are asking them, would you be interested in working with your law firm within other fields than you work with today? So that's a true key question. And I can reveal that on the Swedish market, we had some more than 70% of the clients would love to expand and increase the relationships with their law firms and work with business opportunities. No need to go and seek new clients, but rather focus on the clients at hand. So we have also cross-selling index, which is a measurement of efficiency of the sales efforts done. Personally, I love this cross-selling index. I think it's important to look at the comparison on the market. How well do we perform? and also to develop your own cross-selling index where you can actually extract from the economics how well the lawyers perform when it comes to pitching other areas than their own area within the business law. So cross-selling index works like this. If you're working within, say, labor law and M&As, then you're working within 2 areas, which means a cross-selling index of 2. But if you work within 3 areas, 4 areas, and 5 areas, then your cross-selling index will increase. So the goal is to have many areas at the same client. And I think it's very important to do this and think about this, because if your lawyers do not work with as many areas that is possible at your clients, then there may be another law firm doing that. Because when it comes to the greater clients, many of them do work with several law firms at the same time. Yeah, the follow-ups are measured, and trusted advisor and partner, preference to hire the law firm, that is from the image report, awareness in the market, knowledge of the law firm in the market. And then you have the possibilities to choose your own key performance indexes and questions, of course. Yeah, so I think that this is a little bit more information on these new subjects that we are going to work with. And I think I will leave it to Carola and Robin to explain more about our different reports and the levels that you can explore together with them. And here are their contact information. It is carola.katter@regi.se and robin.jacobson@regi.se. So we have come to the end of today's expo, and I must say I thank you very much for listening, and I do encourage you to get in touch. And my name is Ylva.Gnosse, Gnosse @regi.se, if you would like to get in touch with me. I'm also at LinkedIn and so on. I hope that you appreciated this little expo, and you are so welcome to work with us in any way you wish. So I wish you a great day and a happy week. Yeah, take care. Bye bye.